So Chief Afe Babalola has finally agreed to withdraw the criminal defamation suit he brought against rights activist and lawyer Dele Farotimi. Baba's decision to withdraw the case against Mr. Farotimi followed the visit to him by the Ooni of Ife, Adeyeye Ogunwusi, as well as other prominent Ekiti traditional rulers. But this is why Baba said he chose to withdraw the case. Watch.
I am the chairman of Transparency International, based in Germany, over corruption. I've given lectures alongside with Oba Adeyeye and others around Africa. You can see my speech in Cotonou, everywhere. They are printed. For one to come and say, I won my cases through corruption, strikes at the bottom of all I am. That was why I rejected every appeal to take the case out of court. There is nothing I'm going to gain by his imprisonment. If I sue him, there's nothing I'm going to gain from any so-called damages. I am not in quest of more wealth. No. Rather, on how to spend what I have for the benefit of others. When Oba Adeyeye wrote and came here, I said no. When Buka phoned and came, I said no. I have the letters here. But on this occasion, I say yes.
Now, listening to that, the first thing that jumped at me was, how was it that these traditional rulers you see here were able to convince him to withdraw the case, but the likes of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, and the Ewi of Ekiti, Oba Adeyeye, a very prominent traditional ruler in Baba Afe Babalola's home state of Ekiti State? Why couldn't all these prominent Nigerians? Unless I forget, even Peter Obi did his own bit, but didn't succeed as well. I even recall Baba was reported to have asked whether Peter Obi had seen the Farotimi he had come to appeal on his behalf to know whether he was remorseful. Essentially saying, withdrawing the case against Dele Farotimi was likely going to be based on whether Farotimi was remorseful or not. But having now decided to withdraw the case, did Baba Afe Babalola get any assurances from the Ooni and his team that Dele Farotimi is now remorseful and could even possibly apologize to him? Could that have been the basis upon which he decided to withdraw the case? Or are there actions that Dele Farotimi is expected to take as a result of Baba's decision to withdraw the case? Would these actions include an apology or participation in a peace meeting with the elder statesman? It is of course difficult to tell what the answers to these questions are, but if I've learned anything from Mr. Dele Farotimi in the last few months, it is that it will be difficult for him to apologize. And even if he wanted to, what exactly was he going to be apologizing for? That he no longer believed in this?
Afe Babalola corrupted the judiciary. And in corrupting the judiciary, it came across my practice. When I came across it, I challenged it as a lawyer and I fought it to the point where he could not enjoy the fruit of his exertion in the Supreme Court. In writing the letter that he wrote to the then Chief Justice of Lagos State, Ayomide Philip, he libeled me. He suggested that I should be derobed, that what I had done was deserving of sanction, and I should have been struck off the bar. And when I saw this, knowing what I already knew of what he did, I wrote a letter asking that he should withdraw that letter that he had written that was libelous of me. And he declined. Arrogantly so, he declined. And I sued him for libel. And when I sued for libel, the machines of corruption went into overdrive, and a case that should never have been killed at the preliminary stage was killed.
Or this one.
Bokachua came to the public space to tell all of us within the unholy chambers of the Senate exactly how judicial pronouncements are procured in the bedroom. He was the first to inform us of how the judiciary has been Bokachualized. Supreme Court justices, numbering 14, came out to say that the Supreme Court, the head of the Supreme Court at the time, Tanko Mohammed, the plane driver, was corrupt. They were claiming that 80 billion had been misappropriated in the Supreme Court. These were justices of the Supreme Court that were signing petition, not Dele Farotimi now. So it wasn't something that Dele Farotimi said that led them to do that. Okay, look at Ariwola, for instance. A man is the Chief Justice of the Federation. He makes his son a judge of the Federal High Court. He makes his daughter-in-law a judge of the Federal Court of Federal Capital Territory. He makes his brother Auditor General, Auditor of the Nigerian Judicial Council. Another family member became a judge of the Court of Appeal.
It will certainly be interesting to see how Mr. Dele Farotimi responds to Baba's latest move. But what lessons can both parties learn from this unfortunate situation? For Mr. Farotimi, I think the only snag I have and still have about the specific allegations he leveled against the legal icon is that he provided little to no proof to back his claims. Does that suggest he was lying? No. But as is commonly said, he who alleges must prove. Other than that, I believe he has a right to his own truth about the corruption in the Nigerian judiciary, and none of us has the right to question his truth. If anything, I believe very strongly that those allegations are still worth investigating. And for the elder statesman, there is absolutely no doubt that there was a basis for him to approach the courts on this matter. I also understand why he felt very strongly about protecting his name. But with very due respect to Baba, I think his emotions took the better of him in the legitimate attempt to defend his reputation. First off, I think his direct involvement in using the police to arrest Mr. Farotimi in this manner was a grave mistake on his part. I'm not a lawyer, but the optics of that singular action didn't do his reputation as a legal icon any good. As a 94-year-old who is arguably one of the most successful lawyers in Nigeria and also founder one of the best universities in Nigeria, I believe he should have resisted the temptation to go to court on this matter. He should have just quietly sued him in a civil case. And as the Holy Book teaches us, everything is lawful, but not everything is expedient. And lastly, isn't it time for states like Ekiti and all other states in Nigeria where defamation is still a criminal offense to trash this primitive law? By the way, the Ooni and these traditional rulers deserve our commendations for not sitting idly by. And this is exactly what we want to see our traditional rulers get involved in.
All of us, as traditional rulers, we all came together to discuss with you on these topical issues that is so germane to all of us. And lo and behold, the gentleman we're talking about here is your son. Is a Yoruba man too, Dele Farotimi. But we're looking beyond this case. Afe Babalola, nobody can tarnish your name. We have passed a clear message to all and sundry. Young, old, they've learned from you. that what is in a name, in that name, is way beyond gold and silver. Protect it. You have protected it. You have told us, we have seen, we have heard you loud and clear. Combining forces with the traditional institution in which we uphold so dearly, that is what we're using to take this from you. We have heard you loud and clear. Enough, enough, and enough. Your name is intact. We have heard you. You don't joke with it. We have heard you. Nobody can spoil your name.